Do you want to make your laser engravings pop with color? Today, I'm going to show you how you can use the portable WeCreat Lumos laser engraver to create color engravings. We're not using dyes or inks. We are using the 3-watt infrared laser that's inside of this portable machine. It also has a diode laser as well. So this laser engraver is very versatile. If we're just meeting right now, hi, my name is Nisha. Welcome to Little Craft Nest. In my last video, I did an introduction to this machine and we did some simple engraving projects, but today we're going to take those engravings to a whole new level. I spent many hours playing around with the color engraving and I had a lot of fun doing that. I had those moments where I'm like, oh, I can't believe the machine did this. And I had a few moments where I'm just like, oh great, what did I do wrong? So I'm going to walk you through step by step the color laser engraving process so that your end results will just pop and shine and you'll be very pleased with them. The best material to use for color engraving is stainless steel. Now, I did test this out using aluminum as well, and you will get a range of different shades of colors, but they're more yellow and brown shades, whereas when you use stainless steel, you'll get a larger variety of colors using this method. So I definitely recommend doing this with stainless steel. Before you begin engraving, you will need to do a color engraving test. This will let you know what settings to use for the material that you are using. So every time you have a new type of blank you're using, it is best to do this color test. So you're going to do it multiple times on your different blanks because every blank will have a different result as your different substrates will have different thicknesses. So the focal distance from your laser to your substrate will be different. So to start your color engraving test, you're first going to turn on your machine, open up the WeCreat software, and make sure your machine is connected. And then make sure your red light is selected. That's very important. Click on the toolbox on the left and select Color Engraving Test. And then you just follow the steps. Remove the lens cover from the laser and place your material underneath. And then either auto or manual focus your laser so that the blue and red lights are overlapping. Here you can set up how many rows and columns you want. If you're doing this for the first time, you can just leave the settings as is. The first few times I did it, I left the settings as is. But for this one, I did make the grid a little larger. Then go to the next step and you'll see a blue square over the area of your blank where the color test will appear. You can resize and reposition the test grid on your screen so that it will fit perfectly on your blank. And when you're happy with the placement, you can click send and press start. Once your laser has finished, select one of the colors. This will be your focal distance, and then select the corresponding number on your computer. It doesn't matter which one you choose, and you can always do this test more than once. You may notice that your red and blue lasers are no longer aligned, but that's okay. Just leave it as it is and don't touch because this is the new focal distance that's gonna help us create color. And once again, you can change the setup here or just leave it as is and then go to the next step. Adjust and position your color array test and then press start. Once it's finished engraving, you can see the array of colors that you can use in your next project. So now it's time to have fun with our new colors. Make sure the red light is selected. Select your material. We are using metal and stainless steel. And before we select color engraving, we're just going to click on refresh so that we can see our blank. And then you can import a design. You can adjust your design on your canvas. This is rather large, so I'm just making it a little smaller and trying to center it. And then click off of your design and we're gonna click color engraving. It's just giving us a little reminder here. Click confirm. And then the first thing you'll do is enter the focal distance. And if you forget what that is, just look at the top of your color test and it will be there. So ours is 182. When I was playing around with this earlier, the numbers are kind of small and I did enter the wrong focal distance in there once, which totally skewed the colors. Always double check, make sure those numbers are correct because otherwise you're going to end up with vastly different results. And now let's head over to the layers panel at the bottom left-hand corner. And my machine just made a noise there. That was it auto adjusting. So another thing I should mention is after you select your focal distance, make sure you click on the screen somewhere, anywhere else, so that the Lumos adjusts the focal distance. If you don't hear your laser moving and adjusting that focal distance, something is wrong and you will get the wrong colors. Again, that happened to me before. I didn't click off. After I entered my focal distance, I just clicked enter and I started engraving. And again, I got the wrong colors. So make sure your machine adjusts. And after it does adjust, your red and blue light may not be aligned anymore. And that's okay because we've changed the focal distance. So back over to our layers panel, we are gonna assign a different color for each of these numbers. Now I actually have two different oranges here. I'm going to put them together and I'm going to group all these together. That way, now I only have 4 different colors. We'll stick with 4 different colors for this project. So we're going to click on the first color, which is orange. And the first thing we're going to do is change the line density to 300. And you'll need to set the line density to 300 for each of these colors. And again, the line density setting will appear on your color test, so you don't have to remember that. So then you're gonna look at your color chart and decide which ones you want. So for orange leaves, I'm gonna do a power of 60 and a speed of 20. And now we're gonna click on our red leaves here. Again, let's change the line density to 300. We're gonna do a power of 80 and a speed of 20. For our green here, we're gonna change this to 300, power 80, speed 10. And then for our text in the middle, our line density needs to be 300 again. Power, I'm gonna leave that at 100 and our speed at 30. Now the numbers you input will be different to what I input. So look at that color graph, see which colors you want to use, and make sure you're putting the right numbers in the right places. Otherwise, you'll end up with a completely different result. And I like to go back through each of my colors just to make sure I have changed the line density for each one and that I have all my power percentages and my speeds all set correctly. And once we're done that, we can select everything and then click on framing. And you'll see a blue outline on our blank. This is a great time to reposition your blank if you need to. If you like where it is, just leave it. And then you can press pause to stop it. And it looks like we're ready to go. So let's click on start at the top. This large engraving looks like it's going to take 2 hours and 45 minutes. So this is going to be quite long. So make sure you're not going anywhere during this time. Don't leave the house. Don't leave your machine. Do this while you're at home because you don't want to leave the machine unattended. And if you didn't do the auto framing earlier, you can do it here if you want to. But I think we're good to go. So let's close up our machine and get this started. I love the way this Thanksgiving color engraving turned out. We've got so many beautiful fall colors in here. And yes, it did take quite a bit of time, but if you're engraving something smaller, I engraved a bunch of small metal pendants, and although I used the color engraving feature, they did take far less time. These are around 15 minutes each. It's also important to note that WeCreat does recommend that you apply a protective coating over your color engravings. If you sell your engraving projects, it may be a great idea to add color engraving. You'll be able to charge a premium for this service as not many people are offering it. I did do a quick scroll on Etsy and I did not see anyone promoting color engraving. So you may be the first in your area to offer this service. I'd love to hear about your experience with color engraving, so drop a note in the comments and I hope to see you on more crafting adventures.